Hello, Harry here, and welcome to another shoe review on Jog On. The shoe we're going to be reviewing today is the Levitate 2 by Brooks. Now, just a quick disclaimer, they haven't asked me to review the shoe, nor have they paid me any money to review the shoe. Now, that said, let's take a look at the shoe. Here it is, the Levitate 2 by Brooks. So let's start with the basics. This is a neutral road running shoe by Brooks that has an 8mm heel drop, so not too dramatic there. Now, one of the big words that Brooks have used a lot in their marketing of the Levitate and the Levitate 2, it's an energizing shoe. And what they essentially mean by that is that it's giving you quite a bit of return as you're putting your foot down during the run. They use something throughout the shoe called DNA amp foam. And that foam is all based around giving the runner quite a bit of return as they put their foot down, and it's got quite a bit of bounce to it. Now, when you're out there running, yes, you can feel that energy return. One thing I would say is that you get more benefit the faster you're going. You really start to feel the effects. So if you are just going out for a steady slumpy jog, you can't feel the energy quite as much as if you were hammering a 20-minute 5K. So perhaps this shoe is better if you're a slightly faster, more competitive runner. Now, I hear you asking, what's the biggest difference between the Levitate and the Levitate 2? Well, probably the number one biggest difference is this heel collar. It almost looks like the kind of thing my nan might have knitted me, like some sort of Achilles heel scarf. I actually prefer this type of heel collar to your more traditional heel collar, for example, on the Ride ISO 2. However, I have heard some people say they don't like the feel of it, it doesn't get on as well with their Achilles or their heel, it doesn't cup it in the same way as it might for some other runners. I'm not so interested in how chunky or fat this heel is for landing on because I'm not really landing on it, but instead what's going on in the midfoot and the forefoot of the shoe. It's quite pleasant to see that actually that DNA amp foam does run right the way through, nearly to the very end of the toe. Now let's take a quick look at the outer sole, or in more simple terms, the bottom of the shoe. Brooks have designed it with this arrow point rubber system. In terms of practicality, I found that it grips very well on most road surfaces, and I'd even go so far as to say, if you had some woodland area, I'd be fairly confident in saying that Brooks Levitate 2, as long as it's not wet conditions, would handle it fairly well. Now, one slight negative that's worth mentioning is the weight of the shoe. At 317.5 grams, it is a little bit on the heavy side. Now, I am saying that in 2019. If you handed this shoe to someone 20 years ago, they'd be holding it going, this is light as a feather. But just compared to its equals on the market at the moment, it is a little on the heavier side. But let's get real for a moment. Most running shoes these days are very, very light, so I am being a bit harsh. Oh my God, it's so heavy! It's not that heavy. This shoe retails at £140. I'll let you be the judge of whether you think it's worth breaking the bank for. Overall, a very pleasant shoe to run in. I would say that real emphasis on the energizing. You can feel it, but it probably would benefit your faster mid to forefoot runner than your slower heel striking jogger around the park, who may not be experiencing the energizing effect quite as much. And as always, I'm a big fan of also training in very minimalist shoes to keep your feet, your ankles and your legs nice and strong. So if you want my advice, I'd mix up your training between some more minimalist stuff and your chunkier road shoes that will give you a bit more bang for your buck. Thank you for watching this Jog On shoe review. I'm Harry Morgan. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, have a great run, and remember to jog on.